I want you to picture this. It's the middle of the night in Fortaleza, Brazil. The city is asleep. You can hear dogs barking in the distance. The night seems to be going on smoothly, but deep on the ground, a secret is being carved, inch by inch. You don't hear gunshots. There are no alarms, just the sound of death falling into the shadows. And when the sun comes up, Brazil's central bank is about to have the worst Monday morning in history. This is not your normal bank heist. There are no masks, no shootouts, no Hollywood car chases. Instead, tunnels, patience, genius, and a pile of cash so big it could bury a man alive. Welcome to the Banco Central Heist. Walk with me as I take you on another journey through the eyes of history. Every legendary heist starts with an idea, and this one, it was insane. So a group of men, ordinary looking guys, not the kind of criminals you would cross the street to avoid, decided they weren't going to rob a corner store or a jewelry shop. They wanted the jackpot and went straight for the Central Bank of Brazil. Yes, the very vault where the government kept stacks of cash waiting to be shredded and replaced. In other words, money that wouldn't even be missed right away. The brains behind the plan was a man named Luis Fernando Ribeiro, not exactly a household name, but in the underworld, a mastermind. So he gathered his crew and they came up with the wildest solution: to dig straight under the bank like a real-life mole. But here's the clever part: you can't just show up with shovels and hard hats. People would ask questions, right? So what did they do? They rented a house near the bank, painted the windows, and put up a big sign that read, Grama Synthetica, Artificial Grass Company. That's right, they pretended to sell lawn turf. Customers, zero. Projects, none. But for 3 months, the neighbors thought they were just obsessed with grass. Meanwhile, under the floorboards, they were creating one of the most insane tunnels in criminal history. This wasn't just a regular hole in the ground. It was 78 meters long, about the length of a football field, reinforced with wooden beams, lined with plastic, wired with electricity for lights and fans. They even installed an air conditioning system. That's right, criminals with AC. It was a whole scene. Now picture the grind. Night after night, the criminals covered in dirt, sweating in the dark, taking soil out of the tunnel in bags. And guess what? They moved over 3 tons of dirt without anyone noticing. Just think about that, like 3 tons. And the best part, they'd leave in the morning, shower, dress clean, and wave politely to the neighbors like nothing was happening. To the outsiders, they were just hard-working lone guys, but in reality, they were digging towards a massive fortune. On that fateful day of August 6th, 2005, at midnight, after 3 months of back-breaking work, the tunnel finally kissed the concrete floor of the bank vault. After a few hits with a sledgehammer, and that was it, the wall cracked open, and just like that, they were standing inside the most secure room in the country, only it wasn't so secure anymore. Inside the vault, there were mountains of cash, bills stacked up like bricks, waiting to be shredded. Over 160 million Brazilian reals, around $70 million, unmarked, untraceable. It wasn't just money, it was the perfect score. So now the question, how do you move $70 million? You don't stuff it in your pocket, that's for sure. They loaded the cash into trucks, literally tons of money, and drove it out through the night, quietly, smooth, no alarms, no cops, no security guard. Just like that, they were gone. Now imagine being the bank manager Monday morning, walking into the vault you left full with cash the day before, and now seeing the vault completely empty and wiped clean. It was the largest bank heist in Brazilian history, and the craziest part, nobody even noticed. until it was way too late. Of course, you can't just walk away with $70 million and expect life to remain the same way after such a heist. The police absolutely went full throttle. Task forces, raids, investigation, and soon enough, cracks started to show. Some of the crew couldn't keep quiet. Some spent the money too fast, buying cars, mansions, showing off. Others, they disappeared into the wind. Out of the 25 plus men involved, many were caught. But here's the kicker. Only about 20 million of the stolen cash was ever recovered. That means over $50 million still missing, hidden, buried, spent, who knows. To this day, nobody has found it. And that's how the Banco Central Heist became the stuff of legend. No guns, no violence, just brains, patience, and one very impressive tunnel. Some call it the greatest robbery of the century, others call it madness. But one thing's for sure, they didn't just think outside the box, they dug under it. So here's the $1 million, well, $50 million question. If you had the money, what would you do? Hide it under your bed, build a bat cave, or start your own artificial grass company? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see what the real masterminds are out there. And hey, if you love this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and walk with me again through the eyes of history.